need to get more possession. Beautiful baseline roll from Ellen Halpenny. So the attacking end's going fine, and she was just saying to Charlotte Kite and Victoria Smith, you're better than that, get your heads up, let's get some ball.
Yeah, the feed of that ball has been pretty quick, and a little tip away from Thompson. Good work from the little goal attack. She's got a turnover for a team, and they've started well, the Tactix. Can they convert?
Thompson currently sitting on 80%, 4 from 5. Oh, Althea Byfield.
Well, it hasn't come off for her, but it was quite astonishing. She was over the top of Halpenny, falling out of court and flicked the ball between her legs.
Isn't she amazing to watch? I've never seen that in a game of netball.
I don't think I have either.
All my 30-something years.
We'll keep with the action. I don't think we need to go there. As Finch finds Thompson. And they have started well. The first 3 goals of the quarter, first 2 goals of the quarter for the Tactix.
A nice, sharp first and second phase off the line for the Mystics.
It's Latu again. She's got such light hands, the way she hauls that ball in sometimes. Such a delicate touch for maybe not such a delicate girl.
She's got outstanding hands and feet. Hands in terms of catching the ball, and her footwork is amazing, Catherine Latu. Oh, and Althea Byfield just coming around. Another one who's light on her feet. That's 2 turnovers in a quarter, in a couple of minutes, in 2 minutes from Althea Byfield.
Well, she does some extraordinary things, Byfield. She's not afraid to throw herself around, and she's won a couple of really good turnovers for the Mystics. And Henry whips it into Coffin.
Good pressure there from Marie Bowden. Tactix almost coming up with the ball.
Kite directing traffic in there, the youngster who's really come on very strongly in the last season or so, chatting away to Victoria Smith. It's Hayley Crofts who come on at wing defence. Of course, the Tactix have lost Chelsea Pittman early to what looks to be a pretty serious knee injury.
That's left Helen Manstroud with very few options on the bench. She's likes to mix it up, and she's not afraid to make changes, Helen Manstroud, but that has limited her side.
Well, the ball rolled over the rim from Tutayer, but Latu, as we said, is strong on the offensive rebound. She's second on the stats for the entire competition, and she pulled one in there. Henry looks long.
As we hear Faye Meikle-John apologise for not playing advantage on that wonderful pass from Jolene Henry.
They're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't sometimes, the umpires. Tutayer misses again, and the Tactix will come away with as it rolls out of court.
Larissa Wilcox putting great pressure on Philippa Finch. There's quite a huge height difference with these 2 players, and Philippa Finch finding it hard to see over Larissa Wilcox.
So Finch finds Bowden. And good work from Finch and Thompson together, combining nicely.
Seeing some good stuff from both attacking ends in this game.
He seems much more controlled, I think, from what we've seen. Not quite as scrappy as certainly from the Tactix, at least, of what they produced last week. There is Byfield again, comes flying out to put the pressure on Halpenny.
Yes, and it would seem to me that the Mystics have learnt their mistake from trying to feed from the centre third. We've only seen 1 feed from Larissa Wilcox and Jolene Henry, so they obviously too have learnt from last week's game, as we see Ellen Halpenny so strong on the hold. Jolene Henry not getting around her.
She is strong for a youngster, just 19, Halpenny.
And I think perhaps this lady here, Jenny May Coffin, she brings some of that control back to this side. As we see them throw the ball out the back, the commentators curse.
Murphy's Law, the Tutayer throws the ball away as Kite brings it through court. Of course, the switch there, Kite has gone into goal defence just to help her team out a little bit in that department. Victoria Smith has switched back to goalkeeper. As Kite finds Finch.
Offside, free pass, Tactix.
George, the little Hail Mary dive through court. Certainly disruptive, the Mystics' defensive end, if nothing else.
Yes, Larissa Wilcox is known for that, and you see there she just gets in behind Philippa Finch and gives her a push from behind.
Oh, the radar was off from Halpenny on that one, though. And so they've managed to close it up to 5, but the Mystics will get a chance at turnover, and they move swiftly through court. And
lovely give and get from Temepara George, but just couldn't quite finish with finesse on her pass to Catherine Latu.
So Thompson comes through and finds Halpenny. Good work from the two shooters. There's Belden.
Is Ellen Halpenny losing Althea Byfield with that dodge on the baseline. Anna Thompson knows she was lucky to get that pass through.
Timeout called by the Mystics, and it is Jenny May Coffin. Be interesting to see what sort of treatment she gets. We mentioned this earlier. She's had the injury problems in the start of the competition.
Yes, and early in the season we talked about how Te Aroha Keenan was protecting her by putting her at centre, so it's more of a running game, less short and sharp than a wing attack. So this will be quite a big blow for the Mystics if she's not capable of carrying on. I think, is she nodding to say she's okay?
I think that's what Te Aroha Keenan's hoping.
I think the question there was, shall I put you back to wing attack? So will that help? And here we see Chelsea Pittman heavily strapped. So the physios certainly have had their work cut out for them today.
Yeah, a little bit of the walking wounded at the moment. Young Pittman, who went down early in the first quarter. It doesn't look like they're making the changes in the Mystics, though. Keenan just looking at her options as Deb Fuller, her assistant coach, chats to the defenders.
She'll be much happier with Althea Byfield's contribution today. Debbie Fuller, of course, used to be Debbie Martoi and a great Silver Fern defender. So balances Te Aroha Keenan, who was a Silver Fern shooter.
Marie Bowden certainly had her work cut out for her against Coffin in this match. Coffin looks to be okay and will carry on. So the margin was 8 at the start of the quarter, and the Tactix have whittled it back to 4.
They've had a great start to this quarter.
Oh, there's Byfield again. She saw it. The pass was telegraphed, but couldn't quite grab it with 2 hands.
Here we see her. She comes from halfway across the circle to that pocket, which was well set up by Larissa Wilcox too, to push her feeder into that corner.
Bowden feeds from the top of the circle to Thompson, and it rims out from Thompson, but Halpenny strong under the post. Call goes against her, though.
Possession goal defence, so no contact involved there, just Jolene Henry had it first.
Temepara George drives strongly to the ball, and there's Henry. They do look good when they're in full flight, the Mystics. It just sometimes breaks down for them.
They love playing in front of their home crowd, and their fans will be pleased to see that they've learned from last week's mistakes.
Well, they've had good crowds so far, and they've been away a couple of weeks, and they've stuck with them, the Mystics faithful. And they'll be keen to impress, I think, as you say, after a couple of tough weeks. We see the shooting stats there of the Mystics. Latu going at 100%, what you expect from a goal shooter of her calibre.
Nice basic stuff there from Maria Tutoyer and Jenny May Coffin. Just a little short pass in the front and a finishing shot.
They seem to be doing the simple things a little bit better this time round, the Mystics. The Tactix, though, are making them work for it, and certainly wouldn't say this young Canterbury side is out of it by any stretch of the imagination.